Hi Henry, thank you for the opportunity to show you this video. The video is about BOSS, the Business Operating Self-Service System. It's basically just a system that can be configured for any task management or process management and is perfect for accounting practices as a practice management tool. I'm going to try and keep this video under 9 or 8 minutes. So firstly, we've got the dashboard. We've got a view of the processes that's running. We've got a view of our tasks with the different boards that we've got on our tasks running and the different categories of these tasks. On the process side, we can see on the graph what processes are assigned, what are completed, and what are currently active, what is being worked on. If you click on it, it takes you to these processes. It shows you the different processes for the different clients that's running, and these could be processes like either an audit process or a financial process that you run monthly or yearly that needs to consist of a very specific standard operating procedure that needs to be followed. For instance, compiling an annual financial statement or doing a particular audit or doing a client onboarding. And in this case, you can see all the statuses of these processes and if they're behind or if they're on track. And if we go back to our dashboard, you can also see some of the tasks that we'll get to now that's overdue. Here we've got Sarah Johnson, tax certificate needed, and that is an overdue task, and it tells you how long it's overdue. It tells you some of your key processes that's recently been running. And then we've got other metrics on the dashboard, new clients that's been onboarded, completed process over time, and communication sent if you use that. You can also have an indicator of how your team is performing versus the individual that's using the system or vice versa. Um, but this can all be configured according to client requirements. Then if we go into the client list, we can go into each individual client. The client will consist of all these several things. Firstly, the profile information. So this will be all the client details that we capture, typical CRM information. In this case, we've got personal information, residential address, tax, and bank details. This is completely configurable. I will get to that shortly. Without having to code anything, you can set this up yourself, this complete profile with the dedicated fields you need for your particular clients. If it's a different type of client, you can set up profiles for, let's say, individual clients, business clients, and trusts, or PTYs, and you can configure what data needs to be captured for them. Then we've got the processes running against this client. In this case, for Francois van der Merwe, we've got quite a few running. Some is completed, some is still in progress. We've got the financial plan in this scenario that's running amber, so it's almost falling behind. The client intake process is lacking, and that's just an indication of how different processes can run against the same client. Want to start a new process for this client, you can just go assign processes. Let's say I want to compile annual financial statements for this client. I want to assign it to a certain team member or user. Let's just say I'm going to assign it to admin in this case. I'm going to go assign, and then I just go execute this process. Here I've got some arbitrary steps. This can be configured according to your requirements, but I've just got a few steps here, with the first one being planning and scheduling. You can confirm the scope as an example, assign responsibilities. You can go save and next, and then you've got the next step of data collection and trial balance preparation. Here it gives you a drop down: has the data been collected? Yes, no. It's got upload functionality where you can upload a file, an Excel file with the different data you need. And all of this information, all of these steps and activities can be configured in what we call the process manager. So we've got different activity types: uploading a document, sending an email, selecting from a drop down, selecting a date, filling in a free text, etc., etc. And you can go and complete this whole process until you get on to the end where you just say the process is completed. We've got a FICA functionality here. Some clients might not use this, but what you can do is if you want to run your FICA compliance from here, you can do everything around FICA, source of funds, if it's a PEP, um, all of that you can run from the system as well. And then you can also get a FICA report on all your clients. You can have an indication of the consent, marketing consent, data processing consent, etc. You can save documents to this client profile. And then important, you can make notes on this profile. So you can make notes that forms part of the reminders that can be overdue, that falls on your dashboard. You can create a new note. You can assign a due date, and and just remind yourself what needs to be done against this client. Then we've got a WhatsApp inbox. If you want to WhatsApp your clients and you've got a business number that they're going to WhatsApp back, we've got a WhatsApp number that they can use. And then if we go into processes, here we've got a list of our complete processes. We can filter for what has been assigned. So it hasn't been started, but it's been assigned to an individual in the business, or what is active, what is currently running, and are they behind? Are they running amber, or are they ahead of schedule? And what is completed or what has been paused. Then we're going to go to the task board. Here you can create as many boards as you want. You can create a board per individual, or you can create a board per category. As you can see here, I can create a new board, call it what I like, and it'll create a new board there. I'm just going to go into general for now. And here I've got several columns. I can configure these columns as I want. I can create new columns. In this case, I've got new, in progress, ready for review, awaiting client info. And this might be for all your other accounting tasks that you need to perform in the business that doesn't necessarily need a whole process or standard operating procedure. It's smaller tasks like requesting documents or doing the pay as you earn or whatever needs to be done in the business that you want to complete quickly. Here is the setup of the whole board. Here you can see I can delete columns, add columns, and move them around. And then if a ticket is moved from new to in progress, I can just move that ticket forward. If I open any of these tickets, I can add the subject, I can add a description, I can assign it to a client, or I can assign it to general, which means it's a general task. It's not necessarily assigned to a client. I can give it a category. In this case, we've got SARS returns or files, financial statements, invoicing. But this can be completely configured according to your business, what the category of tasks you will be working on. You've got priorities, low, medium, high, and we'll see how this fits into the dashboard shortly. You can assign it to somebody. We can also set up the system so that people can only view their own tasks, or the company can view everybody's tasks. That's up to you. We can set up a due date, and we can also set up a due time, because this can integrate into Office 365. So if we go to the task dashboard, here you can see we can see by status for a particular dashboard, for a particular board. We're on general at the moment. So we can see by status, new, in progress, ready for review, awaiting client info, we can see how many are running there. We can see what's, where's the bottlenecks, where are things heaping up. We can see by category. We've got invoicing, general, financial statements, SARS. We can see what is taking up our time there. And by priority, what is the most tasks that we've got running. Then we've got the overdue ones. So these ones haven't been moved to the closed or completed status. They're still in progress and they passed their due date. So they will all show here. And then we've got a task details page. This is just a complete overview of all your tasks. What is the task name? What is the client? What is the category? Who's it been assigned to? What's the priority? And what's the status? Like I said, you can get a FICA compliance report. This is not relevant for all clients because they handle their FICA differently, but you can manage your FICA within the system. Then we've got the calendar. The calendar gives you a complete view of all end dates of processes, because when you set up a process, you can define how long this process should take, a week or a month. And from the start date, when you assign the process, it'll give you the due date in your calendar. The same with reminders of notes on client profiles. The same with tasks, due dates. You will have all the information on your calendar. And again, this can integrate into Office 365. If you click on it, it will take you to that particular information. Then just very quickly, how you can configure the system. It's very easy to customize the system according to your specific needs without us having to custom develop anything. In this scenario, we only had individual profiles and business profiles. That's clients, obviously. We can edit this, and here you can see I can change any of the fields if they're required. I can add a field, and it's completely customizable in terms of the profile. Then in terms of the process, here I've got all my processes set up. If I go into the annual financial statement process, here it's got several steps. I can amend these steps or I can add to them, and in a similar fashion, I can build a completely new process. Then, what I also would like to show is the integration into Telegram. We use Telegram because it's free. You can use WhatsApp, but WhatsApp, especially when you start sending messages out to users like the business owners or the users of the system, they do charge a cost. Telegram is free, but I just want to show you that in Telegram, you can send messages to your system, and it also uses voice notes. So I'm just going to say here, create a task to phone Rian and make the due date tomorrow and assign it to general. Just going to see what it does with that. So I just used something very arbitrarily. Let's see what it does. That it picked up something there. It's going to ask me what the client is, or is it going to be general? So multiple clients matching Rion. So I'm just going to say, um, so obviously there wasn't a Rion specifically in the system, but there was a Joriana. So I'm just going to say Joriana is fine. Um, it'll ask me what board you want to assign it to. I'm going to say assign it to the general board. Are you happy with this? Yes, I'm happy. And then it'll say the task is created. And just to show you that this is in fact working functionality, I'm going to go to general, and there you'll see we've got the phone Rion activity like I um, captured it on the on the Telegram voice note. So here is the mobile app. I'm just going to make this smaller. I cannot show my phone on this demo, obviously, so I have to reduce it to this. Just going to try and move my camera away. So here you've got everything you've got on your dashboard, your processes running. You've got your clients, and you can do this on the go. You can get client info, create a process for a client. You can create tasks, view the different tasks and move them. You can also view your calendar, what's overdue, what's coming up, and you've got a good view on your mobile phone of what's going on in your business. And finally, something that we thought might be nice to have is to have an overview of your business while you're driving. You don't want to look at the phone, but you want to know what's going on. So we built in Read My Day, and that works as follows.
Good afternoon, demo. You have 5 overdue reminders. Sarah Johnson, tax certificate needed. Acme Holdings, Pty Limited, HHH. Moses Ajay, test, and 2 more. You have 16 active processes, 2 of them overdue. The most active is Anita de Villiers' compile annual financial statement, 75% done. That's your day.
So just something small that can help people have a brief overview of their day, and we hope that can also add some value. But obviously, all functionality is customizable, and we're very open to customize the system according to your requirements. Thank you very much for your time. It's really appreciated.